WeWork, game-changing origin, business model, and troubles explained. At the beginning of 2019, WeWork seemed like a very promising startup. By September the same year, its star was dimming fast. In January, the company was valued at $47 billion and plans for an initial public offering or IPO were underway. But in less than 8 months, the company was valued at around $10 billion, the CEO had been kicked out, and the IPO plans had been put on hold. What went wrong? What suddenly turned this company from a winner to a loser? Stay with me to find out. But before we explore the rise of WeWork and the turbulence it's had to face, let me make a humble request. Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. You don't want to miss any of the several videos on major national and global brands we publish every week. If you've already subscribed, we really appreciate it. Thank you. Now back to WeWork. In 2008, at the height of the real estate bubble, two friends, Israeli-born Adam Newman and American-born Miguel McKelvey, met in New York and decided to set up a business together. They launched Green Descon in Brooklyn. Green Descon was an eco-friendly co-working space for entrepreneurs and freelancers. It primarily provided services of a conventional office at a small fee. The space saw a lot of growth over a short time, and within 2 years of its launch, the partners had even bigger plans. They sold Green Descon in 2010 at an undisclosed price to start a company that would build a network of shared office spaces in cities in the US and around the world. The Manhattan real estate developer Joel Schreiber joined the duo and availed $15 million funding for a 33% stake. And that is how WeWork was born. In the early days, the company targeted small-scale entrepreneurs and freelancers who needed to work in a conventional office environment with the necessary accompanying services. The idea was that if you're a designer, for example, and you often had to host clients, you had a place to do it with all the tools to make you look and act professionally. And all that would be at a very pocket-friendly price. You'd also be part of an office community, which could be a source of moral support. WeWork leased buildings in major cities in the US, UK, and other countries and renovated them into cool offices for its clients, whom they called members. It wasn't long, though, before the company started registering corporate clientele. These were big and small companies that needed to house their teams, either for some reason away from their own offices or as a way to cut costs and have undivided attention to their core operations. Among its first corporate customers were the likes of Reddit, PepsiCo, and Meetup. Meanwhile, investment flowed in. Some of the early WeWork investors included JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and SoftBank Group Corp. The company continued to see a lot of growth. By the second half of 2019, WeWork had a presence in close to 86 cities in 32 countries. It was managing over 280 office locations and had a staff force of over 5,000. As part of its expansion strategy, WeWork had also made a lot of acquisitions. And this was meant to give it more capacity as it sought to provide its clients or members a better experience. One of the startups that have been acquired by WeWork is the online platform for organizing in-person events, Meetup. Others include the real estate and construction technology company Case and the hiring service provider for tenants managed by Q. In total, WeWork has acquired several more startups. WeWork had also begun a holding brand, WeCo. Then August 2019 came. August turned out to be very critical in the life of the company. Things changed drastically, not for better, but for the worse. It came to public knowledge that the company wasn't doing as well financially as it had been portrayed. What happened exactly in August 2019 is that WeWork filed S1 paperwork. S1 paperwork filing is a critical and necessary step in the process of a company going public and have its equity shares trading on the stock exchange. Earlier in April, WeWork had confidently filed for an initial public offering or IPO. But it wasn't like things not being done the right way in the company was wholly hidden all along. There were snippets that, in the least, implied that all was not well. For example, in July, the Wall Street Journal reported that Adam Newman, the company's CEO, had liquidated $700 million worth of his stock. This was in the least unusual. That's because most startup founders especially when in the process of preparing an IPO, don't do that. They usually wait for the IPO to monetize their holdings. Back to August 2019. The documents filed as part of the S1, in particular the prospectus, exposed heavy losses that WeWork was taking. The prospectus is a document that explains the financial position of a company to IPO potential investors. The things that were wrong with WeWork finances were picked up by the mainstream media. After a close study of the financial records of the company, many experts believed that its path to profitability was not an easy one. The filing also led to the conclusion that the company valuation was nowhere near the $47 billion earlier reported. But what could have gone wrong? It looks like a mixture of factors. First, the company seemed to have spread its focus too thin. Instead of focusing on a single core product, providing office space to entrepreneurs and companies, the management decided to launch several ventures at close proximity. In 2016, they launched WeLive, offering co-living services. The company would lease apartments, design them to have common spaces and shared services such as kitchens, laundry rooms and recreational areas. That was meant to provide less costly living quarters for those who don't mind being part of a small, highly interconnected community. Then in May 2017, the company launched a luxury gym service known as Rise by We. The idea of this service sounded like a perfect appendage to the working spaces WeWork manages. In the least, members in the shared working spaces would find it convenient to head to the gym immediately after work hours or just before the day starts. However, like WeLive, this venture seems to branch out a little from the core WeWork business, especially with the addition of fitness classes and personal training sessions. Then, 6 months later, they announced the launch of WeGrow, a private school for children aged 3 and above. The first location of the school was in WeWork's New York headquarters. Rebecca Newman, the wife to Adam Newman, was appointed as the CEO of WeGrow. The second possible source of trouble for WeWork, closely related to the first point, is its decision to significantly veer off and even abandon their first primary target client. When they launched in 2010, their primary target market was small-scale entrepreneurs and freelancers who needed to enjoy the environment and services of a conventional office. Some have argued that WeWork choosing to design their product for the corporate was a mistake because pursuing that path could soon make them obsolete. The third and perhaps the most critical factor that led to the dire situation the company has found itself in is failing management. Everything seems to have gone very wrong with its top leadership and in particular the CEO, Adam Newman. But who is Adam Newman? Adam Newman was born in Israel in 1979. When he was about 7, his parents divorced and he moved to the United States with his mother and a younger brother. After a 4-year stay in the US and after his mother graduated, his family went back to Israel and in his late teens he joined the Israeli army. It was after being discharged from the army that he came to the United States for the second time and joined Baruch College's business school in New York City. Aside from WeWork, Adam Newman has had other business interests, including real estate and medical marijuana. He's expressed slightly outlandish aspirations. These include having WeWork go to Mars, being president of the world, living forever, and becoming the world's first trillionaire. He's also hinted at wanting to be Israel's prime minister. Most likely, what's informed him being chosen as the CEO of WeWork, besides being a co-founder, is his ability to raise funds. He's been praised as an effective fundraiser, and this probably masked most of his management shortcomings, especially in the early days. But all the blame cannot be put on Adam Newman. It seems like other stakeholders, including investors and other co-founders, either enabled him or failed to check his powers. It's also possible that at least some of them misadvised him. It's clear, though, that as the company grew, no proper systems were being put in place to guide the growth. And as the company grew and attracted more funding, power was not spread out, but remained in the hands of the CEO. But of course, we've seen many startups that have grown to major global brands with the power to make day-to-day decisions being vested in an individual. Many examples: Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and the list is long. It turns out, however, that Adam Newman was not close to being a Mark Zuckerberg or a Steve Jobs. In addition to failing to set sound management systems, he also seemed to have enjoyed an extravagant lifestyle. For example, in 2018, the company had to buy him a private jet at a price of more than $60 million. There have also been accusations of a possible conflict of interest. In particular, Adam Neumann buying properties and leasing to the company. After the release of the company IPO documents in August, investors and creditors did not have much confidence remaining for Adam Neumann's leadership. And soon, the company announced his resignation. Adam Neumann stated, "In recent weeks, the scrutiny directed toward me has become a significant distraction, and I've decided that it's in the best interest of the company to step down as chief executive." Some reports indicated that SoftBank, a major Japanese investor, had put some pressure on Adam Neumann to resign. He was also to lose a significant part of his vote in the company. His voting shares would be reduced from 10-1 down to 3-1. Adam Neumann would continue to be the non-executive chairman of the board, though. Artie Minson, who served as the co-president and chief financial officer, and Sebastian Gunningham, who was vice chairman, were named co-CEOs. Adam Neumann's wife, Rebecca Neumann, followed her husband and stepped down as CEO of WeGrow and relinquished other roles she had in WeWork. Meanwhile, the company has withdrawn its S-1 filing, and it's hard to tell when the IPO will happen and if it'll happen at all. Whether WeWork will survive this turbulence is a matter of wait and see. Bloomberg has reported that already some of WeWork rivals are celebrating, as some of the landlords who have leases with WeWork have reached out to them. We'll be here to update you on what happens to this brand going forward. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. Also, share and comment. See you in our next video. Bye-bye.